Welcome to A.B. Circus. Laughter is one of our most elemental responses and perhaps one of our greatest needs. People love to laugh. At Cirque du Soleil, we love to laugh too, and we love clowns. To these masters of slapstick exaggeration and kind-hearted satire, humor is serious business. And no wonder, the more you explore the history of clowns and clowning, the more you realize that these colorful characters reflect the deepest part of our psyches. Of course, not everyone loves clowns. Some people find them scary. In fact, there's a psychological term for fear of clowns, coulrophobia. Whether they scare you or not, it's clear that clowns touch something deep inside us. In fact, did you know that the muscles involved in laughing are the same muscles we use when we cry? No wonder so many of us know what it's like to laugh and cry at the same time. Archaeologists suggest that clown figures of one type or another have been present in almost every human society dating back to prehistory. They were involved in religious rituals, and often the same person was both clown and priest. People thought of clowns as the doorway to the sacred because you couldn't free yourself from preconceptions without laughing first. Perhaps that's why so many myths from so many different peoples contain a trickster figure. In myths and stories from all over the world, the trickster is a mischievous and playful character who openly mocks and questions authority. Maybe that's where the scary clown idea came from in the first place. Clowns are nothing if not disruptive. Here's a fun fact. One of the main characters in Cirque du Soleil's Cusa was inspired by one trickster character in particular, the Joker from Batman. Clowns are thought to be related, though they are not identical, to jesters, who appear at all levels of society to entertain common people and royalty, often gently mocking them. How they end up in the deck of cards is another story. If you've watched the other videos in our series, then you already know that a lot of the skills we recognize as circus arts today extend back to Egypt in the West. Clowning is no exception. The first historical evidence of clowning can be found in Egypt around 2400 BCE, an hilarious time when people were half lion, half human, and only two-dimensional. Clowns also appeared in ancient Greek and Roman theater, where they were known as rustic buffoons. Rustic was another word for peasant. Not much has changed since then. Clowns are more often than not portrayed as poor and down on their luck. The word clown first appears in English in Shakespeare's plays. Here again, the clown is a rustic fool, someone with jester characteristics. In some Shakespeare plays, clowns perform a pastiche of a more serious scene. Clowns began to take on the look and style of the circus clown we recognize today with the advent of the Commedia dell'arte in 16th century Italy. Our show Corteo was inspired by the Commedia dell'arte. The term essentially means professional theater, and in the Commedia dell'arte, certain stock masked characters appear again and again. Though you'd have to look hard to find any evidence of a scary clown. Gotcha. Harlequin, a sly and clever character, was often pitted against various buffoons and bumpkins. Pierrot, the sad clown, was one of these influential figures. Unlike all the other characters, Pierrot appeared without a mask. In fact, the Pierrot character is the first clown to appear with white face. The Pierrot had to express life and love without speaking, and was the originator not only of white-faced clowns, but of mime. And no, you're not allowed to laugh at mimes, unless they want you to. Clowns really began to take on the classic look associated with the circus in the 17th century in England with the Harlequinade. The Harlequinade was a pantomime show similar to the Commedia dell'arte, in which Harlequin, another clever character, was set against another poorly dressed, down-at-his-heels bumpkin called Clown with a capital C. Others argue that the word clown came from a French clown called Claude who emigrated to England. Others still argue that the word clown comes from the German word for mud or clumsy. Whatever its origins, today Cirque du Soleil features all sorts of clowns from all over the world. As the circus spread, clowns appeared everywhere, and new types of clown were developed. Tom Belling Sr. created the Auguste, or red clown, a less sophisticated foil for the white clown. The red clown was the first clown to wear the bright red nose many people typically associate with clowns and clowning. Most types of classic circus clowns are influenced by either the white clown character or the red clown character. Belling's costume and character influenced the look of the hobo clowns we typically associate with the traditional North American circus, with their oversized shoes and ill-fitting clothes. The same is true for the classic children's entertainer clown. No matter how you slice them, they're red clowns. 1930s France saw the introduction of the contre-pitre clown, with oversized shoes and clothes. In a trio of clowns, the contre-pitre clown is usually the amazingly stupid one, and is qualified as a grotesque. As you've seen in our other videos, the circus world was turned on its head in the 1970s and 1980s with the introduction of innovative forms of circus, like Cirque du Soleil. These new forms of circus were driven to try new things and explore new forms. Mime and physical theater in that time throughout the world were rapidly developing new forms of clowning. Stock characters like the white and red clown and hobo clown were replaced by radical new forms of expression. As with any experimental form, everything old is new again. artists and clowns look back in history to trickster archetypes and gestures for fresh inspiration. Clowns were always essential to Cirque du Soleil. Since the early days, their function has been to save the show. If there's a technical glitch or some other problem, you send in the clowns. And our creators have always believed that our audiences need the release of laughter after watching one incredible, death-defying act after another. Our clowns are still bumpkins and misfits, yet as clowns have always done, they shine a light on the human condition and reflect our vulnerabilities. And they make us laugh. Cirque du Soleil is continually pushing circus in new directions with new forms and new venues, but we will always love clowns. But enough talk. Mesdames et messieurs, on with the show.